Unclogging the supply chain is the topic of my conversation today with Mike Curtin. He is Senior Vice President of Apparel and Soft Goods with Logility. Hi, Mike.
How you doing, Bob?
Good, thanks for joining me. So, without a doubt, the supply chain is clogged. Describe for me the picture as you see it, though, even as we speak, in terms of consumer goods supply.
Sure. Yeah. As a consumer, I mean, it's right in your face a lot of times, right? You walk into your favorite store, and what you want, what you need is not there. We see empty shelves. Some of it is for luxury items or nice to haves, but it's starting to trickle down into the need to haves, right? We hear the stories about baby formula, et cetera. The supply chain is definitely clogged in different places, and we're hearing that from our customers and prospects day in and day out.
Certainly there's the visible aspect of it, where
Correct.
We're seeing what's happening at ports, with trucks, with labor, with warehouses and all that. But what's also happening at the back end that might not be quite as visible, but is also having an impact on this situation?
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. What a lot of consumers don't see is constrained supply, right? Trying to find sources of supply, alternate sources of supply. It's not uncommon for a factory to get shut down because of COVID or really any disruption, or entire regions getting shut down. And so that puts a major constraint on supply and forces brand owners to seek alternate sources of supply. So that's one thing, right? But kind of adding salt to the wounds is the fact that once product is made, it's getting shipped over to the U.S. specifically. There's all sorts of new legislation around traceability, being able to prove that these goods didn't come from a region or a source that used forced labor to supply them, right?
Yeah.
Not just the factory that's making the product, but going deeper and deeper into the supply chain to show that no material that is used in a garment, for instance, had forced labor anywhere in that supply chain.
Yeah.
So whereas brand owners have just really concentrated on their kind of tier one or their factories, now they're having to go down to tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. The suppliers of the fabrics, the people that supply the cotton to the suppliers of the fabric. So it's really in a world where there's disruption everywhere and supply is constrained. Now there's also that extra element to make sure that once we get products made, we're able to actually sell them, right? So it's
not going away soon, these problems too. It sounds like they're only going to get worse because these ESG, or environmental, social, and governance regulations, are only just now coming to bear.
Right.
So it's only going to get worse. Okay, that's a situation, but I assume that retailers and brands and merchandisers aren't taking this lying down, that they're seeking solutions. How are they coping with these problems?
Yeah. In some cases by brute force. Really, if new legislation that is hit their desks, right? They're needing to comply, and a lot of that is just trying to get their arms around their supply base, understanding who they're actually doing business with, and then who those folks are doing business with. So right now there really is a lot of let's say scramble, and then kind of the think tank of, okay, how are we going to address this a year from now, 5 years from now, right? How do we get a scalable solution in place that's going to allow us to continue to grow versus react?
Yeah, so they're making moves in the right direction, but it sounds like you're implying that they're far from having implemented those moves completely, and it's just the beginning of a journey to address these disruptions as well as future ones.
Right, yeah, or figure out how they're going to enable the outcomes that they want to achieve, right? So there's a lot of strategy going on. There's a lot of ESG programs are getting put in place. You see the the creation of chief sustainability officers, things like that. So I think they're putting the human infrastructure in place, high-level programs in place, and goal setting. But how they're going to achieve that and optimize, sustain, scale, those are questions that are still being asked and answered.
A lot more to be done.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Mike.
Yeah.
Can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
What's with the guitar?
Oh yeah, I have a guitar. Yeah, actually, this is a Fender Stratocaster.
It's a beauty.
Thank you. It's not mine. Fender is actually a Logility customer, and Fender has a lot of the same issues that we had just talked about, right? They have a lot of lost sales, or they did due to stock outs. It's a complex product to make. This actually takes about 26 weeks to make. There's 15,000 options on a custom-made guitar.
Wow.
And Fender really didn't have a lot of visibility into or capability to balance supply and demand. They implemented Logility, saw return almost immediately. Within 6 months, they achieved their return on investment. They're able to double their inventory turns. They have a 50% improvement in just service level. They're kind of an anecdote to a great story of why Logility, what we can bring to the table. They went from making 12 decisions a year, 12 decision points, right, in their supply chain planning to 52 after implementing Logility for just a short period of time. So going from making strategic decisions once a month to once a week has allowed them to really improve their business, and that's what Logility's in the business of doing is really helping our customers implement technology that's going to make a true impact on their business.
Great, thanks, Mike, for talking to us about unclogging the supply chain and also for riffing on Logility a little bit. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks.
We've been speaking with Mike Curtin of Logility. Thank you very much for watching.